Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, last class we have discussed the tautomerism, right? And I think I have given the questions for practice as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have any doubt? The questions I have shared over WhatsApp, the word format. Have you gone through the word format?
Oh, yes. Those are okay.
Okay. So, I guess you have done the IUPSC part. I think you might have faced some problem doing the isomerism part. Have you done all the questions of isomerism, or do you have any doubt? So you can ask with me directly.
No, I just wanted to ask if you could help me with the questions you gave me last time.
Okay, fine,
But
fine.
yeah,
I'll, I'll
I
give it.
think the others were okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the resonating structures. I think it was question 11 on that.
Yeah, yeah. Now I just got a call. Yeah. Uh you were saying something. You were saying that yeah, you were having doubt in the resonance structure, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll explain. No problem. I'll explain in detail. The and my there is the okay, organic chemistry. So are you able to see my screen?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen right away. Yes. I think now it's visible, right?
It's loading. Yeah, now I can see it.
The PPT. Okay. So last
Yeah.
class I have given you these questions, right? Yeah. Fine. Wonderful. So I guess you are having some tempted the questions in home.
Yeah, I did. I just didn't know the second one, the beta diketo compound.
Okay. Fine. Fine. There is some problem with the network, I guess. Okay. So again, I need to share, I guess. Yeah. Fine. So now let's do the question. So you did the beta diketo compound. You have done the tautomerism of beta diketo compound, right?
I did, but I wasn't sure where the pi bonds would go. That was a little confusing to me.
Okay, fine, fine. So I'll explain here, no problem. So as you said that you are having some doubts which pi bond will migrate and which will not migrate. So if I talk about beta diketo compound, in between two ketone group, there is one methylene group. This is called methylene, and here is one methyl and one methyl group. Now you want to remove the H plus. When you will remove the H plus, then you will get the minus charge. If you see, this is also alpha hydrogen. This is the alpha hydrogen. This is the alpha carbon with respect to both keto group, and this is the alpha carbon of this keto group. So the alpha carbon, which is the alpha carbon which is present in between both keto group, that is the most active alpha carbon. This is known as the AGM, active methylene group, AMG. This is known as the active methylene group. Why it is the active methylene group? What is the reason behind that? The very simple reason is that when you will remove H plus, when you will remove H plus from CH2, it will be CH minus, right? So if I can write like this, I can simply write like this. Here it is a one H. If you remove this H to this hydrogen, and this pi bond will fall over here, so you will see here it will be negative charge, and once negative charge is developed, that negative charge will be highly stable. That negative charge will be highly stable. You can see that CO CH3 CH minus CO CH3. You can see that now this minus charge is in the conjugation with both carbonyl group. This minus negative charge is in the conjugation with both carbonyl group. I guess you can see that, right? So when this negative charge is in the conjugation with both carbonyl group, that means higher the conjugation, higher the resonance, higher will be the stability of molecule. So it is very easy to remove H plus atom from the middle carbon of between two keto group. So always remember, hydrogen will depart from this carbon. So this carbon will depart the hydrogen and pi bond will fall over the sigma bond. So the enol form will be like this: COH. Here you can see like this, COH, and then you have to write COH, and then here it will be pi bond, CH, C double bond O. Then it's a methyl and methyl. This is the enol form of given beta diketo compound. Now you see, yeah, you can ask.
What about the other pi bond with the oxygen? That's still there.
Yeah, okay. So why I haven't removed this pi bond? I only removed the only the one pi bond. Either you can remove this one or this one. Choice is yours. Either of one. Between these two, either of one pi bond will be removed. Why I have done that, I'll explain. See, you see, this hydrogen is attached with the oxygen. So when hydrogen is attached with the more electronegative atom like oxygen, so electron will be taken by oxygen. Oxygen will be electron rich and hydrogen will be electron deficient, right? So this is called dipole-dipole interaction. Now this dipole interaction will develop a tendency of formation of hydrogen bonding. This hydrogen will form hydrogen bond with the neighbor oxygen atom. You see this? This double bonded oxygen atom will form the dash dash H bond, and this is known as the IMHB, intramolecular of hydrogen bonding. Can you see that? So
yes,
if I'll say about this, if I'll write I can make this structure like this: C double bond O H, and here it will form hydrogen bond like this. So you can see this is called six atoms closed ring. 6 atoms closed ring. Can you see that number? Can you count the number of atoms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This hydrogen is the part of carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when there is a 6 atom closed ring is formed during intramolecular hydrogen bonding, that phenomena is known as the chelation. That phenomena is known as the chelation of molecule. And chelation provides exceptional stability to the molecule. This is called chelation. Chelation means formation of 6-member closed ring. That is called chelation.
Can you spell that out, please?
Divya, what did you say?
Can you spell out what you just said? The chelation.
The chelation, CHE. In some books, some people used to say this chelation, but standard pronunciation is chelation. Chelation of molecule. Chelation is nothing but it's a six-member closed ring within the molecule. 6-member closed ring. So if you count the atoms, it will be 6, right?
Yeah.
That's why this only one pi bond falls over sigma, and one pi bonded oxygen takes place in the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. This is the region.
So when this version becomes an enol, it becomes a closed ring.
Yeah. When it will be enol, it will become closed ring, and enol is much more stable than keto. Keto will be less stable compared to enol.
Because it's a ring, correct?
Because this is a
closed ring.
Yeah, this is a closure ring, and as well as there is a intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So yeah, right.
Okay.
So just give me a one sec. I'll close my door. Door is open. Okay. Okay, cool. So yes, I think it's clear to you, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So I will give you some standard examples for this. This is called beta diketo compounds. Here I am having a CS2CO, CO, CS2CO, AB. The C molecule is like this, CH2, CO, CO, and the D is this, CO, CH2, CO. Now I will put the group like this. I'll put one group NO2, one group PH, one group ethyl, one group methyl. Me means methyl. One group OCH3, other one is OET. ET means C2H5. One is NO2, other one is NO2. Now all these are beta diketo. Can you see that? All these are beta diketo. I think you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Now I wanted out of A, B, C, D, which one will be having the most enol content? Means because enol and keto both are exist in a dynamic equilibrium. So my question
Mhm.
is that out of these four given compound, which compound will contain maximum enol content and which compound will contain least enol content? So most enol content and least enol content. Least enol content in the given compounds. Most enol content and least enol content. So I'll tell you during the enolization process, we remove the H plus, so anion forms. When anion forms over the carbon atom, so we have to check the stability of anion. Higher the stability of anion, higher will be the percentage of enol content in the given molecule. That's a very simple and pretty fact. Now you can check. You can check here. These group are Me and Et. These group are the electron donor group. These are the plus I, or these groups are known as the electron releasing group. These releases the electron. Alkyl group is the electron releasing group. Okay, so minus charge means already charge density is more, and when you are pushing more charge, when you are providing more charge, that means stability becomes less. You are making unstable molecule. You are creating instability in the molecule. That's right. Yeah.
Can you explain that one more time?
What did you say?
Can you please explain that one more time? I'm a little lost.
Yeah. Okay. So Et means C2H5. C2H5 provide the electron density. C2H5 the electron releasing group. It releases the electron through inductive effect. I think I haven't talked. I haven't told you about the inductive mesomeric and these kind of effects, but I'll give you a little introduction. Inductive effect is a effect where positive charge, where the electron density being transferred through the sigma bond. So sigma bond, this electron density will be given to the carbon. So carbon will feel more electron charge, and the more electron charge will be there, and already here it's a negative charge. So electron will create a repulsion. It will create a repulsion in the system, and when repulsion in the system means energy more, stability less. When more repulsion means more energy, right, and less stability. Negative and negative, always remember, negative charge will be stabilized by the positive charge. Negative charge will never be stabilized by the negative charge. I hope it's clear to you. Yeah. Now so the least enol content will be taken by. Now I'll explain the most enol content. So this B is not the least. The least content will be given by molecule C. Why molecule C? Because this lone pair will undergo the conjugation with this carbonyl compound. So you can see this negative charge and these two lone pair is also negative charge, create the lot of repulsion in the molecule, and this is known as the plus R effect of oxygen. Plus R effect matlab resonance effect by the oxygen. Why plus? What is the meaning of plus? Plus means it is going towards the system, towards the carbon. Plus means hota hai it is increasing the electron density on carbon. Minus means hota hai it is decreasing the electron density on carbon. I think this whole explanation comes in the resonance effect. That is the part of GOC. And I think in chemical bonding you have read about resonance.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you read about that lone pair also undergoes resonance? Lone pair?
Yeah, but I'm not very good with resonance.
You are not good. So I think I haven't taken your chemical bonding class, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So suppose here we are having a pyrrole. Pyrrole means pi bond, and lone pair over the nitrogen. This is called the pyrrole. So when pyrrole is there, so you can see for resonance, there is only one universal condition, that is called uninterrupted conjugation in the system. Uninterrupted conjugation. Now you will ask, sir, what is conjugation? Uninterrupted conjugation in the system. Now you will ask, what is the uninterrupted conjugation in the system? See, you will ask. So uninterrupted conjugation means alternate pi and sigma bond. Alternate pi and sigma bond, or alternate pi, sigma and lone pair or charge. So if you can see here it's sigma, this is the pi, sigma. When lone pair is present, lone pair matlab this is a pi electron. Lone pair is always present on the pi p orbital of nitrogen. It is present on the p orbital of oxygen. So lone pair is nothing but the pi electron. So sigma pi, sigma pi, sigma pi. You see, everything is like in conjugation. Alternate sigma pi is the conjugation. Okay.
Yeah.
Means now this molecule is ready for resonance. This is a condition for resonance. Now you can simply say this molecule is very well ready for conjugation. So what will happen? This electron will fall over here. This pi bond will fall over here. And so how this will happen? This will happen like this. Nitrogen will fall, lone pair will fall here, pi bond will fall here. And then what will happen? So this conjugation will happen. Then this charge will fall here, and this pi bond will fall to the carbon. So there will be a keep on rotation of electron density. So this keep on migration of electron density is nothing but the resonance in the molecule. Resonance is the migration of pi electron density. Pi electron density means density of pi electron, either pi electron or lone pair or charge. Charge is also pi electron. Okay. So if I talk about benzene, in benzene also it's a classical molecule of resonance. Pi, sigma, pi, sigma, pi. So why benzene is very stable? Because of the resonance energy. In benzene we are having a uninterrupted resonance. Pi, sigma, pi. Okay. I hope it's clear to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If I talk about buta 1,3-diene, so CH2 double bond, CH single bond, CH double bond, CH2. So here this pi falls over the sigma and this pi falls over the carbon. Why? Because why resonance is happening? Pi, sigma, pi, alternate pi, sigma, pi, whole molecule is sp2, sp2, sp2 and sp2 hybridized. I hope it's clear to you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So these are the basic definition of resonance. So for resonance, lone pair is also undergoes resonance, pi bond undergo resonance, charge undergo resonance, sigma bond never undergo resonance, sigma bond never undergo resonance, sigma bond go resonance. Okay,
Yes.
clear? Okay, fine. Can you tell me why sigma bond don't want to undergo resonance? Why sigma bond doesn't participate in resonance? What is the reason behind that? Again, you have to recall the chemical bonding concepts. Achha, you tell me How sigma bond forms? Sigma bond forms due to the collateral overlapping or axial overlapping. What kind of overlapping happens when
Axial.
axial overlapping? So when axial overlapping happens, so there is a extent of overlapping will be more. When extent of overlapping is more, so it is a strong bond. Strong bond. But pi bond means collateral overlapping like this and this. So generally this is a weak bond, or weak person is always wants to migrate. If a strong person is there, a strong person means stable person. Weak person means unstable, always wants to run. So weak person undergo, so weak electron density create a weak bond, and weak bond is ready to migrate. Any doubt?
No. Can we go back? So you told me what the least, content would be.
Yeah,
What would be the most?
this will be C. C is the least. Why it's the least? Because
Because
this oxygen lone pair is creating the is giving the electron density inside the carbon, inside the this beta diketo compound. So lot of negative charge will come, electron will come from here. From here also electron will come, electron mode of repulsion. And maximum enol content will be taken by D compound. It will be 100% enol. Why it is so? I'll explain in the next page. So C is clear, the least enol content.
Yep.
Okay. Now I'll explain about D. What does happen in the D? So what happens in the D? Very simple fundamental classical approach. So here it's a CO methyl CO. Now it's a NO2. NO2 group is here, and here also it's NO2. So you see, when a more electronegative atom compared to carbon, nitrogen is more electronegative. So electronegativity series is all about FON, FON, then chlorine, then bromine, then sulfur. This is the electronegativity order. So fluorine is the highest electronegative atom. After that, oxygen, that nitrogen. So nitrogen is more electronegative, and also nitrogen is attached with the pi bond. Nitrogen is attached with the pi bond with a more electronegative atom as compared to oxygen, as compared to nitrogen. So if you see in NO2, NO2 is a minus R effect, minus R or minus M. Minus R means, M means mesomeric, R means resonance, both are same. So NO2 is a minus R effect. Why minus R? You can, out of nitrogen and oxygen, which one likely to contain the negative charge? Can you tell me?
Out of the nitrogen and the oxygen?
Yeah.
The oxygen.
So this pi electron density will go to oxygen, right? So now,
Yes.
now nitrogen electron density move to oxygen. So nitrogen is electron deficient. Now, being this electron deficient, what will happen? This nitrogen wants to take the electron. This is the positive nitrogen. This positive nitrogen wants to take the electron. That's why, because of the minus R effect, this negative charge will be stable by these two positive charge. This negative charge will be stable by this two positive charge. That's why it will be a maximum stability. It will attain maximum stability. It will attain maximum stability. Attain. I think it's clear to you.
Yeah, so because both the nitrogen and the oxygen are more electronegative than the carbon, they take that negative charge from it.
That negative charge. Yeah, right. I hope it's clear to you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So because this is way more stable than the actual thing, 100% of this like dynamic equilibrium, all of it's enol and none of it's ketones.
Yeah, definitely. It,
Okay.
only 1 or 2% will be as a keto. Maximum percentage will be the enol percentage because of the 2 minus R, 2 minus M group. These are the electron withdrawing group. This group is known as the electron withdrawing group, EWG.
Okay.
Hello guys, welcome to MedII.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
Okay, so fine. So this is the enol content. And now I think I have given a question as a homework to make the enol of this, right?
Yes.
So I think you would have entered this pi bond here, this pi bond here. So it will be like this. OH and OH.
Yeah.
That is what you have made, right?
Yeah.
Actually, this supposed to be made like this, but this is not happen. This is not going to form enol form. This will only exist in the keto form, 100% keto form. It will not form enol form. So I would like to ask one question. Have you heard about the aromaticity, anti-aromaticity, non-aromatic character? Which compound will be aromatic? Which one will be anti-aromatic? Which one will be non-aromatic?
No.
Okay, okay. So I'll explain in a very simple language because it's a detailed concept chapter. It will take a separate class, but I will explain Huckel rule. Have you heard about the Huckel rule? No. Huckel rule says in a closed ring, if if the molecule is planar and having 4n plus 2 pi electron with uninterrupted conjugation, 4n plus 2 pi electron with uninterrupted conjugation in a closed ring. If the molecule is planar and having 4n plus 2 pi electron with uninterrupted conjugation, then given molecule will be aromatic in nature. This is called Huckel rule. Now I'll give you a simple example. Can you see this? This is cyclopentadiene anion, and this is naphthalene. Have you heard about naphthalene? Divya?
Oh, sorry. Can I just write this down 1 second?
Yeah, I'll tell you, in a closed ring system, if the molecule is planar means all the atoms should be sp2 hybridized and having 4n plus 2 pi electron with uninterrupted conjugation in the system, then given molecule will be aromatic in nature. Okay, can you see that? Now you see this is a pi electron, pi sigma. Charge means nothing but pi sigma means there is a conjugation. This electron will fall over here, and then this electron will fall over to carbon. Again, this pi bond will fall over to carbon. So there is a conjugation in the system. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so number of pi electron, can you see that number of pi electron? Number of pi electron will be 2 plus 2. 1 pi bond means 2 electron. 2 pi bond means 4 electron. And already you see this is a 1 extra pi electron. This charge means 2 electrons are there in a one charge. So how many number of pi electron? 6 pi electron. Can you see that?
Yes.
So now, as I have seen, I have count the number of pi electron. This is the multiple of 4 plus 2. Why? If you put the value of n as a 1, n where n is an integer, n could be from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to anything. So it is a number of ring. So one ring is there. So 4 plus 1 plus 2. How many electrons should be there? 6 pi electron. That means it's aromatic. Like we talk about benzene, na? Why benzene is
Yeah.
aromatic? There is whole the molecule is planar, sp2 hybridized, number of pi electron is 6. 6 means 4 into 1 plus 2, that is 6. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So this is called aromatic character. What about naphthalene? Can you count number of pi electron in naphthalene? Can you count number of pi electron in naphthalene?
10.
It's 10.
Yep.
So when it's 10 means, and how many rings are there? 2 rings. So 4 into 2 plus 2, that will be 10, right?
Mhm.
And we are having alternate sigma pi, pi, sigma, pi, sigma, pi, sigma, pi, sigma, pi, sigma. So alternate pi, sigma, pi, that means it follows all the condition of Huckel rule. So it should be aromatic in character. Any doubt you can ask anytime.
No.
So this is called the Huckel rule. So I have explained you how the compound becomes aromatic. Now you will ask, sir, what is the anti-aromatic character? How the anti-aromatic character develop? Okay. Any idea about anti-aromatic character?
I'm assuming it doesn't follow the same rule.
It follows the Huckel rule. It follows all the condition of Huckel rule except one condition. What is that condition? That condition is called number of pi electron. In aromatic character, in aromatic molecule, the number of pi electron is the multiple of 4. Number of pi electron is the multiple of 4. Is the factor of multiple of factor 4. So if I talk about this molecule, cyclopentadiene cation. Cyclopentadiene anion is the aromatic. But what about this cation? In this cation, all the system is planar. sp2 pi bond is sp2 sp2. Carbocation is also sp2, right? This bond will go here. This plus charge will fall over to the carbon. Electron density here it will be plus and plus. This molecule will fall, this pi bond will fall over the sigma, plus charge will fall over the carbon atom, right? So it will be like this. So you can see there is resonance, uninterrupted conjugation, whole molecule is planar. But can you tell me the number of pi electron? How many pi electrons are there?
4.
Huh?
4.
Yeah, number of pi electrons are 4. So when number of pi electrons are 4, so it's a multiple of 4. That's why it is a anti-aromatic in nature. What about this compound? Cyclobutadiene. Cyclobutadiene. This will be aromatic, anti-aromatic, or non-aromatic?
1 second, let me just write this down.
Actually, I'm surprised enough. Even IBHL is also having a little more depth of organic chemistry, but IBSL is all about, it's like a 10th organic chemistry. In India, what we study in class 10th, what they are going to study in IBSL syllabus. Standard. What is the full form of HL? High level, right?
Yeah, higher level.
High level. So I think JEE Advanced will be treated as a IBHL ka whole square.
Yeah, actually, in high school outside of India, you don't take science. You don't take, like, before 11th grade. You don't take biology, chemistry, physics separately. You do it all in one science class, And so you
Okay.
only spend like a few months doing each of the subjects. So you never really fully learn a subject until you're in 11th grade.
Okay.
And so SL is probably easier, but it covers stuff that in India you would have already covered earlier on in high school.
Yeah. Right. That is what I have observed when I was teaching the Maya in the class. That is what I observed. Right. Yeah. So,
Okay.
what is the nature of this compound, cyclobutadiene?
Would it just be anti-aromatic?
It is anti-aromatic. No doubt, without any doubt, it's anti-aromatic. Anti-aromatic in nature. So it's anti-aromatic, and yeah, anti-aromatic in nature. Cool, right?
So anti-aromatic things follow all of the rules except the number of pi electrons is a factor of 4.
Yeah, it's a factor of 4. If it's a factor, if the number of pi electrons is factor of 4, if it follows all the conditions of Huckel rule except number of pi electron, if number of pi electron happens to be factor of 4 plus 2 aromatic, only the factor of 4 anti-aromatic.
Okay, cool.
Now you will ask what is non-aromatic. So non-aromatic don't follow any condition of Huckel rule. It is neither be planar, nor in conjugation. Like if
But is
I
still closed ring?
yeah, but ring has to be closed. That is
Okay.
important. If I'll write like this compound. So whether this compound will be aromatic, anti-aromatic, or non-aromatic, you will see number of pi electrons is still factor of 4, but it doesn't follow the any condition of Huckel rule, because this carbon is the sp3 hybridized carbon. Sigma bonded, there is no pi bond, right? So these two carbons are sp3. So when sp3 means molecule is tetrahedral, so means molecule is non-planar. So when molecule is non-planar, means non-aromatic.
Okay.
Cool. I think you have got the concept right now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you got the aromatic, anti-aromatic, and non-aromatic. So if you create this molecule, if you make this molecule is closed ring. All are sp2 alternate pi sigma pi. Only the remaining term is the multiple of factor 4. So this pi bond are the 2 pi bond means 4 pi electron. When 4 pi electron means it's a factor of 4, so it's anti-aromatic in nature. And anti-aromatic compound are the least stable compound. Even they doesn't exist at room temperature. If suppose you are having this cyclobutadiene, so this cyclobutadiene doesn't exist at room temperature. So what will happen to this compound if this compound is formed at room temperature like 298 Kelvin? So this compound immediately will undergo dimerization. Dimerization will happen. What is the dimerization? It will convert into the two molecule will join together, and this will form. This pi bond will break and two molecule will join together and dimer will form. So now this dimer is non-aromatic in nature, because this molecule is sp3. So anti-aromatic immediately converts into non-aromatic by dimerization. So you will ask, sir, whether this compound exists at any condition? Yeah, this compound exists only temperature minus 58 to minus 80 degrees Celsius. This exists at a very lower temperature.
One
Okay.
second. So in terms of stability, non-aromatics are more stable than anti-aromatics?
Yeah, aromatic, then non-aromatic, and in the least is anti-aromatic. Aromatic, non-aromatic, and then anti-aromatic. I hope you see that, right?
And then, sorry, what was the process called again? If it is anti-aromatic, how does it change its?
This process is called the dimerization of molecule. What is the dimerization? Two molecule form dimer. Dimer means linking of molecule. Dimerization. So this is called dimerization process. So anti-aromatic converts into non-aromatic at room temperature. So at what temperature they does exist? They do exist, but they do exist at negative temperature, minus 58 to 80 degrees Celsius. ठीक है? Done. Cool है. Cool, fine. ठीक है, तो ये हो गया तुम्हारा. So that's why this won't form this. That's why this molecule will not undergo anti will not undergo enol formation. Only keto form will exist. I think now you have got the concept, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if I am having a four options like this, A, B. C. Okay. So if the enol content in A is X, in B is Y, in C is Z, and D is W. So what will be the order of X, Y, Z, W? What will be the order of X, Y, Z, W? Order of X, Y, Z, W. Okay. So by looking the molecule, you can simply say that the D molecule will be the maximum enol content. Why? Because here it will create aromaticity. Why? How? You take this H over here and this pi bond falls to the sigma bond. So it becomes phenol. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So W is highest. Now remaining you need to tell me the answer. You need to check and tell me the answer.
Would X be the least?
X will be least. Think about it. X, Y, Z. It's a good question. Actually, you have to think, then you give me the answer. Hello. Welcome to Med IIT class.
Hello, guys.
I'm a little confused in the Y and the Z.
Y,
How in Z?
Y and G.
Yes. So B and C. If they were to turn into enol form,
Okay, so
correct?
right. So now suppose if for enol, definitely enol means you have to create a pi bond over the sigma. So here,
Yeah.
here you cannot take hydrogen because there is no alpha hydrogen. Carbon,
Yeah.
all four valencies occupied by the pi sigma bond. So you will definitely take this hydrogen from here. So pi bond will go here. So when
Yeah.
this pi bond here, pi sigma pi sigma pi sigma pi sigma, matlab this pi bond is in the conjugation with the whole benzene ring. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yes.
So there is a extended, this is called extended conjugation or extended resonance. Very important concept of higher organic chemistry. There is a lot of questions they advanced love to ask. So this is called extended conjugation because this pi bond is extended conjugation with the whole benzene ring. Can you see that?
Yes.
Actually, this is not at all required as per the IBHL syllabus. But since as you told that you wanted to know more, that's why I am talking about all this. So are you comfortable with these kind of things?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm talking. So if you don't comfortable, so I can go further. You are comfortable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So you have got this concept, conjugation with the benzene system.
Yes.
So when conjugation with the benzene system means definitely this is not aromatic system, but still it's a non-aromatic, but there is a conjugation with the system. So obviously it will be stable. So after W, X will come. Now here you see there is only sigma bond. Sigma sigma means there is no pi bond, no conjugation. So what will happen? Pi will form here. This will become OH and pi bond will form. Right?
Yeah.
Now pi bond, across this pi bond you have see the alpha hydrogen. How many hydrogen are there across the pi? This is the functional group. The first carbon is the alpha carbon and hydrogen attached with the alpha carbon is the alpha hydrogen. So two alpha hydrogen, and here two alpha hydrogen, and with respect to this carbon this is alpha, one alpha hydrogen. So how many alpha hydrogen are there? Three. But here if you talk about this, the here pi bond will form two alpha hydrogen, four. So remember, higher the number of alpha hydrogen, higher will be the hyper conjugation of alkene. These two are alkene. Alkene means enol means why we called compound enol? Why we called compound enol? Because there is a double bonded alcohol. Double bond means en, and this OH means all. So en plus all, that's why it is enol. Can you see that? So
Yes.
the stability of alkene depends on the number of hyperconjugative structure, and hyperconjugative structure is directly proportional to number of alpha hydrogen. So hyperconjugation is a phenomena that I won't discuss today. I will discuss in a separate class, that class where we will discuss the all effect of organic chemistry: resonance, aromatic effect, resonance effect, hyperconjugation, mesomeric, electromeric, and inductive. These six effects govern the whole organic chemistry. Okay. That's what.
Can we
Yeah.
just, okay, we'll do that in a different class, right?
Yeah.
Can we go back and do whatever metamerism means? Meta isomerism?
Metamers.
Yes,
Tautomer.
because that's the last of the structural that I haven't done yet. And then I would be done with the structural.
Yeah. Metamers is the last of hyperconjugation, last of structural. After that, we will
Yeah.
begin with the stereoisomers.
Yeah, yeah.
So, is that clear to you?
Yes.
Right? So, alkene means you have to count alpha hydrogen, and always remember the resonance is the highest stability force. The first stability force is the aromatic character. After aromatic strength, we see the resonance. Resonance means it could be mesomeric and plus R. It could be R and M. Resonance and mesomeric both are the migration of pi electron density. Both are the migration of pi electron density. This is the strength. This is the strength of electronic effects. So aromatic electronic effect is most stable effect, most powerful. After that, resonance come. After resonance, hyperconjugation comes. After hyperconjugation, electromeric comes, and the least effect is inductive effect. Least stable effect is inductive effect. Least powerful inductive effect. So
That's sorry, what's after hyperconjugation?
yeah, hyperconjugation is all about the stability of alkene. What I have explained.
Yes, after that?
After that, electromeric. That I will explain in the chapter where we will discuss the all electronic effects.
Yeah, okay, and
then last, the least powerful effect is the inductive effect.
okay.
This is the least powerful effect. I think it's clear to you, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. Right. So now the last is the metamers. Metamers is a very easy. It's not tough. So when we are having a metamers are having the same molecular formula, but the position of alkyl group, the position of alkyl group across the divalent, or trivalent, across the divalent or trivalent atom in the chain is different, called metamers. Now you will ask, sir, what is divalent, trivalent? So have you seen the ether? Have you seen the ethers?
Yeah.
Yeah, metamers. Ethers are ROR dash. Ether means in ether we are having a divalent molecule oxygen. Okay? So metamers are having the same molecular formula, but the position of alkyl group across the divalent to trivalent atom in the chain is different. Let me put the battery. Yeah. I think you got this concept, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'll explain by giving you sufficient examples. So in chemistry, there are only two elements. One is ether, where we are having a divalent oxygen. Ethers in divalent oxygen are R1, R2, and amines trivalent nitrogen. R1, R2, R3. Amines could be 3 degree, 2 degree, and 1 degree. Okay, so now this will be helpful because you are also having the separate topic called amines. I think in IBHL there is amines, right? You are having amines as a separate topic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I am having an alcohol called C5H10, C5H11, C5H12O, this is the, so what, how many isomers are possible for this compound? So definitely there are two functional groups are can be made by this molecule. One is the alcohol C5H11OH and one is the ether. Now in across the ether you can form C1 and C4. You can form C1 and C4. Now C1 and C4 could be changed as a C2 and C3. C2 and C3. So these two molecules will be metamers. Metamers means this is the methyl butyl ether. What will be the name of this? C1 is methyl, C4 is butyl. So methyl butyl ether. And what will be the name of this compound? C2 is ethyl, ethyl propyl ether. Ethyl propyl ether. So these both are metamers because the position of alkyl group across the divalent is different. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Here across the oxygen C1, C4, across the oxygen C3, C2. I think it's clear to you.
Yeah.
So these are the metamers. So metamers are compound having the same molecular formula. Both are same molecular formula. Only the difference occurs in the position of alkyl group across the divalent atom. Now we will talk about the trivalent. So you are clear with the ether?
Yeah. So oxygen is a divalent atom because it is attached to two different.
Yeah, because the valency of oxygen is, because the covalency of oxygen is 2. 2 means divalent. When the covalency is 3, that means trivalent.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you tell me a fundamental difference between valency and oxidation state? Oxidation number? What is generally both looks like same, but there is a difference. You always, when I talk about the oxidation, you always write oxidation either plus or minus. You write oxidation either +2 or -2. Oxygen have a -2 oxidation state generally, but the valency of oxygen is 2. So what is the difference between these two? This is called oxidation state, and this lower part is called valency. So I'm just asking the fundamental question. So that is, we'll check the, you have to make your concept clear. So what is the difference between valency and oxidation?
Well, valency is like the maximum number of electrons one of the atoms can gain or lose or like share in order to, I guess,
When
become
share,
stable.
yeah, the third word is share is right. It can share, but lose or gain, when electron gains positive charge, when electron gains negative charge will come. When electron lose, positive charge will come. So when we talk about gain or lose, there will be a state called oxidation state. Oxidation state is the tendency to lose or gain electron by a given element. That is called oxidation state. If -2 means it gains 2 electron, but covalency is the combining capacity. It is the combining capacity. It is the combining capacity of a given atom with other atoms is called covalency. Or and you also use a word called share, or it is a sharing capacity. Combining means sharing of electron, or it is a sharing of electron capacity with neighbor molecules. Okay, neighbor atoms.
Yeah.
I think now your fundamentals are clear. Yeah. So when you talk about gain or lose, that means minus or plus. Metals are electropositive because they lose the electron. When they lose the electron, they attain plus charge. Non-metals are electronegative because they just catch the electrons. They accept the electrons. When they accept, they are electronegative. I think it's clear to you.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Fundamental, right? So your fundamental has to be very strong. Now we talk about amines. Amines, if I write a amines C6HRNH2, C6H13NH2. This is called hexylamine. Hexylamine or hexamine. IUPAC name is hexamine. Hexylamine is the general name. Hexylamine. Hexamine. So hexamine is having a capacity to be go like this. N C2 C2 C3, right? C2 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 and C2 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 and C3 C3 and H. This is the 2-degree amine because 2 carbon is attached. This is the 3-degree because 3 carbon is directly attached. This is the 3-degree amine. Can you see that? And what others? Others are like C1, C1, C4, 6. Any other possibility that you can check? I think this many possibility are there. And C2, C1, yeah, C2, C1, C3. This is also there, 336. So that these all are the metamers. These all are the metamers. Do you have any doubt? You can ask. Metamers means you have to only undergo the permutation combination. You have to know how to combine, how to make 6 molecules, how to make 6 carbon atoms, 6 carbon atoms by putting branches of nitrogen. So nitrogen can have maximum 3 branch because its covalency is 3. And what about oxidation state? That is -3. So oxidation is -3. Covalency or combining capacity is 3. Right.
So all of those would be metamers for that specific compound.
Yeah. I hope it's clear to you, right? So yeah, so I think we are good to go. I think till here we can finish our class. In next class, we will complete the stereoisomers. Stereoisomers, we are having a major 2 isomers. One is the geometrical isomers, and other one is the optical isomers. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
No, I think I'm clear.
Okay.
I'll go through everything tonight and then maybe ask you tomorrow if there's any confusion.
Okay, so before leaving the class, I would like to make you see one video. That video we have made. Our team had made that video. Do you want to see that video?
Yes, please.
Okay, fine. Let me do this. Where is the video? I think A B C D E F G H I J. Yeah, this video we have made on the basis of recent Olympic.
Your screen isn't shared. Your screen isn't shared. I can't see anything.
You can't see?
No.
Okay, just a minute. Let me share the screen. Okay, so are you able to see now?
It's loading.
Still it's loading or it's done?
Oh, it's done. I can see now.
Okay, fine.
It's not open yet, but I don't think I'll be able to hear the audio because you're in headphones.
Still it's not, you're not able to see?
No.
Why? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Are you able to see this YouTube icon here?
No, I can't see a YouTube icon.
Okay, I think you are able to see that, right? Now you are able to see the YouTube, right?
No, I can't see YouTube.
Just a minute. Just a minute. I think I have to share again. Just a minute.
If you have something to do, you can show it to me tomorrow. That's okay.
I think now you are able to,
Yeah, now I can see.
you can see the screen, right?
Yes, I can see YouTube now.
Okay, actually we are having this channel in the YouTube by the name of NEET and IIT JEE Made Easy. So recently our team has made a wonderful video. So yeah, fine. Right? Yeah. Just a minute. Are you able to see now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what our channel on the YouTube. Have you seen the whole video?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so the voice is, yeah, just, so the voice is also good now. Have you heard the voice also?
No, because you're in headphones.
Okay, so I'll share the link on the WhatsApp group, so you can go ahead and you can see the whole video, and that is
Okay.
our channel on the YouTube. You can also subscribe the channel, and you can also encourage your friends to subscribe the channel.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, fine. Okay, then see you in the next class tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Till then, take care. Bye bye.